cause and effect matrix. And now we are going to discuss about the cause and effect matrix with respect to EPCC projects. Providing causation in a cumulative impact claim typically requires a detailed and complete contemporaneous record. The cause and effect linkage in a claim. Here we are going to discuss about the primary causes and the secondary causes. The primary causes, which includes in the EPC engineering project basically, the delayed IFC drawings, issue for construction drawings, and there are some basic changes in the designs. For example, during the execution of the project, maybe the engineering started early, and in the meantime, there's a lot of discussion is going on between the clients as well as the contractor and the other agency who involved in the project, and therefore a lot of changes may anticipate during the execution of the, during the design phase. Also, client may forget to give the right type of specification with a defective nature, and therefore this affectation of the this is the main primary causes. And coming to the secondary causes, there is a procurement problem and there is an administrative problem. Now, for example, if it's a procurement problem, the improperly tagged equipment and bulk materials are the major concern in the procurement. And secondly, delayed free issue materials by the client and misfabricated equipment materials by the other party and by the client. And coming back to the administrative problems, work precedence by others, the third party or the party who involved in the projects. Also, the access denial. Sometimes the contract may not get the access to approach a site in time and to get the work to be started. So this all the problem is a major concern as far as administrative. Apart from that, mainly the review cycle of the design document, engineering documents. Sometimes there is a fixation for the 14 days of the review or 21 days of the review. So how many review cycles are occurring during the procurement engineering approval part? And coming back to the beyond control problems, the weather changes, labor issues, and other force majeure. And recently what we have gone through, the COVID type of issues. And coming back to the contractor cost problems, mainly may contractor sometimes bring the unqualified labor, lack of supervisions, defective constructions, and vendor supply delivery details, and poor planning. These are all the main causes for the main secondary causes. And because of this primary and second causes, and therefore the contractor is forced to go for the delay and disruptions. So if here now we are to discuss whether the delay and disruptions what contractor submitted to the client, it is related to the time and cost impact. So sometimes there is a denial from the client. They may not approve the EOT extension of time, or they may not agree what the contractor submitted with the appropriate records. So here the contemporaneous records and other important subject to the project nature, we have to submit properly, and therefore we'll get the better result from the client in terms of approval process. Now, as shown in the figure, they have multiple duplicative effects are showcased here. So now, as far as the intermediate effect, and there is an intermediate effect, mainly the productivity losses. Productivity losses means re-sequencing out of sequence works, and therefore there's a production loss. Coming back to the increased number of crew size, this is all the how the by some changes in the construction activities or the procurement activities, or because of that contract want to skew the program, and therefore they're increasing the number of crews at site, and trades tracking some where they're going to keep the material, because it's a very important area they have to fix for the right type of, right time they have to bring the material. And about to say the overtime work, because of the day night shift and all, they have to accordingly they have to arrange the people to come and work in the nights also. These are all the main productivity losses. And now, we have to matrix with the congestion, increased supervision, coordination problems, importance of additional supervisions, labor rate increases, shift differences, night work labor increases. So in such a way, these two increased direct cost and the productivity, these to be rightly we have to create some balance matrix, and therefore we have to identify the effect properly. And coming back to sometime the contractor may give the drawings may be not in correct and some specification changes and all. So therefore the contractor forced to do some rework also. This is also part of main effect and the effect from the delayed cost. And as a result of all these multiple various factors, and therefore there's a total cost impact is we can see. So total cost impact means it is increasing the original estimated budget. So it is in terms of equipment and material, in direct labor cost, home office overhead cost, and field indirect cost. So this is how the cause and effect and the consequences are projected in engineering, procurement, and construction projects. Now, coming back to the schedule assurance is very important now. Many project schedules are poorly and require poorly prepared, and it required rebaselined once again during the project execution to become useful project management tools to properly measure the progress. For example, there is a change orders, there is a lot of changes are happening, even though you have submitted the original baseline which has been approved, and again we are going to face some changes, and therefore we have to keep on revise the baseline, and accordingly the critical moments we have to watch. And coming back to the problem, what mainly people here facing, the poorly prepared schedule do not provide reliable tools. For example, measure responsibility for delays that occur during the project execution, and quantify appropriate time extensions is very, very important. So we cannot once we have submitted means we maybe we cannot submit again the EOT 1, 2 and all. So we have to be very careful of submitting exactly what are the consequences and therefore the effect we are going to give. And coming back to this, assess the need for the acceleration and mitigation delays. These are all the important things we have to consider while preparing this type of schedule assurances to support the cost and effective matrix for the